The day I came back from my prenatal checkup, I divorced my husband without hesitation. The moment I stepped into our marital loft after the appointment, the ultrasound printout still in my hand, I saw Derek half kneeling beneath the arc floor lamp in the middle of the living room, cupping an engagement ring and saying "Marry me" to Stella. The air felt trapped under glass, the lamplight sliding along his shoulder line to the carpet was sharp as a blade. Sorry, bad timing. I shut the door, then pushed it open again to be sure I hadn't walked into the wrong apartment. Stella froze and took a step back. Derek's hand stayed suspended in midair. I spread the ultrasound printout on the coffee table. Boy, long legs. My voice was level. Thanks for the surprise today. He snapped upright as if someone had cut his oxygen. Serena, it's not what you think. It looks pretty clear. I stared at the diamond flashing like a weapon. One knee, ring, polished lines. Stella pressed her lips together, as if she wanted to explain yet feared I'd speak first. Also my fault. I gave a small laugh. I should have knocked. Serena. Derek strode toward me, words tumbling fast. Listen, don't come closer. I set my purse on the sofa arm, unzipped it, and pulled out 2 sheets of paper. Divorce petition, already signed. The papers drifted to his feet, landing beside the ring box's shadow. He went still, panic flickering in his eyes, an expression I rarely saw. When did you prepare these? From the night you started working overtime till dawn, when your phone asked for a fingerprint and still had a passcode. I said, around then. I didn't, no mistress? I glanced at Stella. Or no proposal? Stella said softly, Serena, I'm not here to break you up, I just happened to pass by, happened to accept the ring, happened to hear him propose. I didn't look at her. That kind of just happened is like my baby, who also just happened to show healthy today. I wasn't proposing. X knuckles whitened around the ring. I was merely a rehearsal? I finished. Practicing vows for some future wedding, picking our marital loft as the stage? His breathing turned ragged. Calm down, he said. I am calm. I dragged my suitcase in from the entryway. Calm enough to sort clothes ahead of time, stash important papers in a folder, and bring the prenatal booklet. The zipper rasped, the teeth gritty in the hush. Where are you going? He blocked my path. To my best friend's place until the courthouse opens. I said, her sofa's softer than ours. We can talk. We've talked plenty. I gripped the handle. You said you were busy, I said I'd wait. You said deals needed extra hours, I said baby could wait. No more talking. Serena. His voice dropped. Something's off about tonight. The problem isn't tonight. I looked at him. It's when you replaced we with I a long time ago. Stella stepped forward, fingers twisted together. Maybe I should go. Fine. I nodded. Thanks. She paused at the door. Serena, I'm sorry. I smiled. No need to apologize to me, you didn't marry me. The door clicked shut, leaving only the 2 of us and that ill-timed arc floor lamp. I never meant to betray you. He spoke with effort. I'm not marrying her. So you only wanted to rehearse our breakup? I said. I'll cooperate. He lifted his gaze, a flash of humiliation in his eyes. I'll explain everything. Even a clear explanation won't stop this divorce. I handed him the file. The loft is in your name, baby in mine. You walk away clean, I take 1 pot and 1 bowl. Fair. You're gambling, I'll agree? His tone chilled, grasping for a backbone. Not gambling. I said, informing. He studied my face as though hunting for a road back to the past. You're carrying my baby, he said. Yes. I nodded. He's healthy. Doctor says he takes after you, long legs, big head, will make delivery fun. I folded the ultrasound printout and slipped it into my bag. As for who baby's dad is, the RTH certificate has a blank line, empty looks classy. He inhaled sharply, tamping something down. You have to push it this far? I witnessed your proposal today. I rolled the suitcase to the door. Words are footnotes, images are evidence. Suddenly he pressed his palm against the door. Don't go. He said, at least give me 1 night. I stared at his hand, knuckles sharp, faint calluses earned from keeping the company afloat, gripping steering wheels, signing contracts. Derek. I said his name softly. Have you noticed the thing we do best is push each other away? I didn't push you. He murmured, I just never looked back. That was enough. I pulled the door open. I won't stand still waiting for someone to learn how to turn around. The door cracked, cool air squeezed in, fluttering the curtain like a sigh. He said nothing more, hand slowly dropping. I hauled the suitcase out, the latch snapped shut behind me with a crisp clack. At the elevator I called Molly. She picked up instantly. You're out? She asked. Yeah. I watched the floor numbers descend. Checkup went well, baby's healthy. And you? Also healthy. I glanced at my pale reflection in the metal doors. The marriage died, that's all. She was quiet a beat. Come over, she said. I just sunned the sofa, clean. Okay. I smiled. Mind if I borrow your scale? Pretty sure I dragged his heart along. Don't joke. I'm serious. Shouldn't weigh much, left behind, nobody'll pick it up. I'll come down to get you, she added. Also, the lawyer slotted you in 8 tomorrow, we'll draft an asset list. Before 8, I'm sleeping. I said. Fine. Need me to grab anything from the loft? No. I eyed my case. Brought what matters, the rest I don't want. The elevator arrived, empty, like a clean stomach ready to swallow my day. I stepped in, pressed L. My screen lit, unread iMessage from Derek. I'll explain. I didn't answer. In the mirror I silenced the phone, resting a hand on my bump. Baby nudged back, as if AGR. Eeing. Good boy, I whispered. From now on it's us two, facts first, stories later. Doors opened on the ground floor. I dragged the suitcase across the marble. Night wind seeped through the lobby's entrance, carrying Riverdale's distant glitter, like soup kept on a low simmer, warm and endless. I halted under a street lamp and gave myself a hasty farewell ceremony. No banquet, no toast, no rerun. I said. Marriage, closed. A car eased to the curb, the window slid down and Molly leaned out. Get in, she said. My treat tonight, plus 2 wings for iron. Doctor vetoed fried. I loaded my case into the trunk. Switched to beef noodles. Deal. She flicked the indicator, but I'm adding cilantro. Then I'm adding a clause. No midnight cilantro for you ever again. She laughed, then caught herself. In. No toughing it out. I buckled up, outside, streetlights smeared into dashed lines. We drove away. I didn't look back. I knew the window was still lit, that arc floor lamp holding its stage like a show refusing to end. But I'd already taken my bow. On the late-night radio the host crooned, Dear listeners, the wind's cold tonight, may you all have somewhere to land. I pressed a hand to my belly and answered softly, We do. Molly parked outside her building and killed the engine, glancing over. You're still pale, she said. Beef noodles won't fix it, shower first. I'm afraid your bathroom's too clean, I'll feel guilty. Then I'll mess it up. She pressed keys into my hand. Today the world revolves around you. I chuckled, climbed the stairs, each motion sensor light clicked on like counting my steps. Inside, the living room was showroom neat, the sofa sun warm. I parked the suitcase at an angle, marking territory. Claiming squatters' rights? Molly asked, bringing hot water. Fine, you're the cat today. Cat needs sleep. Cat needs food. She produced a thermos. Veg beef soup, low fat, doctor approved. I sipped, warmth spread and baby fluttered approval. He votes yes, I said. He'd better learn to pick people, Molly replied. Not like his dad. I stayed silent, anger still there, but limp, a deflated balloon with no squeak left. The phone winked on the coffee table, then dimmed. What did he text? Molly asked. I'll explain. And you? No explanation needed, I laid the phone face down. 8 tomorrow, come with? Obviously. She nodded. Zachary's reserved the slot, we'll rough out an asset sheet. I inhaled, stomach tight. Go rest, she said, standing. I'll draft a simple template to fill in tomorrow. Wait. I stopped her. One favor. Shoot. If I cry later, don't comfort me. She raised a brow. Deal. I'll sit nearby crunching chips for soundtrack. No cilantro flavor. That would break us. She was dead serious. I laughed, my eyes burned anyway, ice cubes clinking in a glass. Still love him? She asked. No love talk tonight. I drained the soup. Tonight we talk deed titles and baby's surname. Baby's surname is your call. She tapped my shoulder. I know the statutes. He might fight. He'll meet my lawsuit first. She headed to the hallway. Sleep. In the shower hot water pebbled my shoulders, washing the day off layer by layer. When tears should have come they didn't. I told the fogged mirror good job, the water drowning my voice. Molly had the guest bed ready, curtains half drawn, a strip of streetlight lying across the quilt. Yell if you need me, she said. I'm pulling an all-nighter. You work tomorrow. I took leave, bestie acute marital necrosis, medically legit. Her teasing made me laugh. I slid beneath the blanket, back to the door, belly cradled by the quilt like a little skiff nudged against a dock. The light clicked off. The room settled into stillness, only the sporadic clack of a keyboard in the study next door, someone keeping accounts, tallying the hours of my day. Just before sleep, I sensed the phone glow once more. This time I didn't look. At 7:30 the alarm rang. I woke clear-headed, as if so. Mion had fluffed the cotton inside my pillow overnight. Molly appeared with a glass of warm milk. No heroics today, she said. We just follow the script. Follow the script, I echoed. No improv. Before leaving I scooped my hair into a low knot, shrugged on a loose trench. The mirror showed a calm woman, calm with a stubborn tilt to her chin. You look badass, Molly judged. I'm afraid the judge will think I came for a photo shoot. Relax, the lawyer looks meaner. We reached Cohen before 8. The receptionist was just sticking irises in a vase, a faint perfume sealing the air in new plastic. Zachary, maybe 35, eyes bright, voice level, greeted us. Facts first, goals second. He slid paper and pen across. What outcome do you want? Divorce, I said. Baby stays with me. I walk with nothing, visitation per statute. On property, he prompted. The sterling equity in his name stays put, I said. Post-wedding real estate reverts to him, cash and securities come to me, earmarked for birth and living costs. Generous, Zachary observed. I'm too tired to fight, I clicked the pen shut. I just need a stable runway to deliver baby. Understood. He nodded. Plan A is viable, but a walkaway only works if he agrees. If not, Plan B, trace material fault during marriage, demand compensation. Save it for later, I said. Draft plan a tight, leave a safety net. He studied me, didn't press, and began typing clause after clause, explaining each legal anchor at conversational speed, mending a net with no holes. Molly sat beside me taking notes, reminding me of anything I'd skipped. Don't forget prenatal checkups and postpartum care costs, she said. Add them, I smiled. You're the enforcer. I enforce while eating cilantro-flavored chips. Illegal, I vetoed. Halfway through, my phone jittered on the table, the screen flashed Derek, then dimmed. You can take it, Zachary offered. If he wants dialogue, we can explore. Nothing will be settled today, I reply. D. Let him find his sincerity first. As you wish. He advanced to the next section. You'll sign the retainer shortly. I'll courier a demand letter and petition for asset preservation to prevent transfers. Since you're waiving some claims, we'll clarify that, but the freeze is standard. I get it, I said. I don't want him pulled under at Sterling, but not wanting isn't the same as trusting. You're lucid, he judged. I've had my foggy moments. I thought of last night's arc floor lamp. Turn the light off and it passes. At 9:30 we stepped outside, the air carried a cool edge, sunlight slamming off the corner building onto sidewalk maples. Next stop? Molly asked. Hospital, drop off the results, I said, waving the prenatal booklet. Then the office, file my return to work request. Overbooked day. The busier, the less it hurts, I laughed. Personal prescription. At Riverdale the OB nurse glanced up. Looking good. I'm trying, I said. No drama, no all-nighters, no temper, she chanted. Especially no upsetting videos. I've already unplugged the TV, I answered straight-faced. Also, she hesitated, hubby should escort checkups when possible. My bestie is highly qualified, Molly cut in, hand raised. I'll remind her to eat and sleep on schedule. The nurse looked us over and nodded. That works. Outside, sunshine polished the pavement. I inhaled a gulp of light and the thought life still manageable surfaced, cheap but effective adrenaline. On the way to the office I texted my old boss, 5 minutes? He pinged back instantly. Come down when you arrive. The tower's glass facade mirrored my silhouette, belly unmistakable, an announcement. Sure you want to return now? Molly asked. Don't tough it out. I'm not taking a lifetime leave, I said. I'm on pause, not stop. The boss came down, did a double take, then grinned. You look solid, he said. Which role? Original team. Remote for 2 months postpartum, then full desk. I handed him my plan. Deliv. Irritables listed, updates weekly. He scanned it and nodded. HR might twitch, he warned. I'll handle the twitch, I said. Just give me a metric. 1 month trial. He offered his hand. Welcome back. I shook it, under my foot a loose floor tile clicked back into place. Molly gave me a thumbs up outside. You're armored today. Under the armor, fleece lining, I said. Extra warm. My phone buzzed again, different number. Good morning, this is Sterling's assistant, a polite voice said. He'd like to meet you at lunch, location your choice. Sorry, booked, I replied coolly. Forward his attorney's contact, mine will coordinate. Sterling feels family matters don't need lawyers. I also feel prenatal visits shouldn't be interrupted by proposals, I shot back, ending the call and pocketing the phone. Next time, text. Molly eyed me. Brutal, imbalance, she ruled. I just don't want to cry on the sidewalk, I said. Then lunch, celebrate re-employment. Fine. Beef noodle place? You're avenging yesterday's missed bowl, she accused. Exactly. We grabbed a window table at the corner shop. The owner recognized me and chirped, spicy? Mild, I said. A gentle kick today. Steam curled off the broth, the first bite landed perfectly, a warm throw over the empty space in my stomach. Halfway through I spotted the black sedan, the plate unmistakable. Molly set her chopsticks down. He's here. He shouldn't be, I said, slipping mine across the bowl, but it's a public venue. The doorbell jingled. Derek hovered, shop light pooling his shadow at his feet. His gaze found me, he paused 2 tables away, then walked over. The owner beamed, noodles? He shook his head, eyes fixed on my face. Serena, he began, we need to talk. I'm eating, I said. I'll wait until you finish, he said, standing rooted. 10 minutes. I chew slowly, I reminded. An hour, then, he allowed. Molly brushed my arm, your call. I sipped broth, lifted my eyes, and reeled every emotion to a neutral scale. I'll rig. I said. After lunch I'll give you my lawyer's number, he'll schedule. His brows drew tight. I want to explain face to face. You will, I agreed, with counsel present. He went silent, something catching in his throat. 2 beats later he breathed again. Fine, he muttered. Your terms. Not my terms, I corrected. The rules. He stepped back, erect, guarding against a gale that wasn't there. I resumed eating at normal speed, trading small talk with Molly, weather, deadlines, whether tonight's milk gets honey, restitching life seam by seam. Done, I wiped my mouth and stood. Let's go, I said. Where? He asked. Cohen, I answered. Didn't you want to explain? His Adam's apple shifted, swallowing words. Okay, he said, reaching for the door. I'll drive. No need. I pointed up the block. We walk, 15 minutes, perfect breeze. He didn't argue. Outside the wind lifted, I cinched my trench, belly snug under the cloth as baby rolled within. I whispered, easy, and finished the thought, every step we take from here is counted. My heart gave a tiny clench, but I quashed it at once. Baby and I, visitation rights for you. Don't ask for more. I'm not asking. He looked at me. I'm only begging you not to bolt the door on me for good. Molly's voice was ice. Who slammed that door? Think hard. The air congealed for several beats. Zachary flipped open the contract. In that case, we'll draw up a supplementary agreement. If you have no objections, Sterling, please sign. Derek took the pen, fingers rigid, hovering for an eternity. I watched him, a wild thought surfacing. If I hadn't pushed that door open that night, would everything still be humming along in a beautiful lie, at least until baby arrived? But a lie is a lie. Sign. I murmured. The instant the nib touched paper, his Adam's apple lurched as though he'd swallowed a live coal. The soft scratch of ink was almost inaudible, yet it carved a ravine between us. When the meeting ended I stood, files clutched to my CH. And walked away. Derek called after me, Serena. I never looked back. Outside the firm, sunlight slapped my face, stinging my eyes until they burned. Molly hooked her arm through mine. Easy. Inhale. Walk slow. I nodded, forcing my lungs steady. In the glass wall behind us our reflections stretched. Derek stood inside like a man trapped in an aquarium, mouth moving, no sound escaping. Traffic thundered past, exhaust on the wind. I lowered my head to baby. Don't be scared. Mommy's steps are solid. Baby nudged gently, as if answering. I laughed once, bitter. Looks like you're braver than me. For my back-to-work interview was set for 2 p.m. The elevator was almost empty. In the mirror I stood straight, my belly rounding the trench coat into an arc. The receptionist saw me and sprang up smiling. Long time no see. Back for a look, I said. HR's in today, she whispered. Don't stress. I've got a belly shield. She burst out laughing. In the conference room the blinds were half drawn, sunlight sliced the table into 2 halves. The HR manager, Jung, professional gaze, business tone. You're requesting your former position, reasons clear. I can deliver. I slid the completed form across. Weekly progress updates, 2 months remote, back on site after the doctor clears me. She flipped through, then nodded. Our biggest concern is your physical condition. I outlast most people, I said lightly. I sleep 6 to 8, built-in alarm clock. She glanced up, a smile tucked in the corner of her eye. Second question, emotional stability. Stable, I said. Yesterday I unplugged the TV. Xing set the papers down. We'll trial 1 month, targets per your list, metrics first. Thank you. Save it. She closed the folder. We're just enabling each other to work. The corridor outside was quiet, shutter shadows fell like neat rows of squares. I leaned against a window and exhaled. Baby shifted right inside me. Don't pick sides, I muttered, rubbing. The middle's comfy. My phone buzzed. Molly. How'd re-entry go? Approved, probation month. Beef noodles waiting to celebrate. I replied deal and pocketed the phone, heading for the elevator. The doors opened, Derek stood inside. His figure cut hard under cold white light. I didn't move, he didn't move, the doors politely closed again. I pivoted to the stairwell. He followed one step behind, leather soles striking metal treads in steady beats, an unyielding heartbeat. I shoved the fire door first, wind rushed in, smelling of cold steel. Stop tailing me. You're walking down, I'm walking down. Physics, not stalking. Then I'm going up. I'll go up. You're childish. I'm afraid you'll tire. I halted and turned. Sterling, I kept my tone flat, the workplace isn't for private issues. Then let's stand outside 5 minutes. He glanced at my shoes. You sit, I stand. I waited 2 seconds, then descended. Outside, sun-warmed steps, autumn wine snapped the flag on its pole. I perched on a planter's edge, he stayed 2 steps away, hands buried in coat pockets as if restraining himself. I found it, he began. That day's ring was bought by Eleanor's assistant, charge on her card, shipping slip in her name. She used my office spare key ahead of time, slipped the ring into my drawer, and had the blind spot and the cameras adjusted. Thorough, I said. The video was edited, he went on. They spliced clips of Stella and me. The phrase marry me, I was telling Stella to relay to Eleanor, marry me to her habit of setting traps. The tail was cut. I smiled, paper thin. You want me to believe innocence resting on half a sentence? I'll show you the raw file. He lifted his phone. But I know files can't replace the days I wasn't there. Wind flipped his coat lapel, he pressed it down like a belated apology. Serena. He met my eyes. I thought managing the company was protecting our home. But home isn't an outcome, it's the process. I was wrong. Finally, a sentence worth hearing. I can the other mistakes, he paused, though to you they might all be noise. You've learned to self-diagnose. Can you write a prescription? Can't. I rose, dusting my coat. I'm not your doctor. He was silent, then nodded. How did the reinstatement go? Smooth. Need me to arrange rides? No. Need me to cover all future prenatal checkups? It's in my budget. The day baby's born. Derek. I looked up. Don't use the future as bargaining chips. His Adam's apple bobbed. Then I'll stay in the present. He lowered his voice. Right now, all I can do is dig out the truth, shoulder what's mine, lift what shouldn't burden you. You don't have to forgive me, and I'm not rushing you, but I'll keep it at long enough that one day you won't hear noise anymore. Sounds like long-term investing. I only ever went long on the company. A strained smile. Now I want to learn how to go long on you. Tuition is steep. I'll pay. I checked the time. I need to finish onboarding. I'll walk you up. Not necessary. He stepped aside to clear the path. As I passed, he spoke again. Serena. I stopped, back to him. Hate me if you have to, he said, but don't carry the heavy stuff alone. I looked down at my bump. He's not heavy, I said. He's my light. Back at reception I submitted the papers, HR stamped them, and when the seal hit the page it felt like a loose brick sliding back into place. Heading out I texted Molly. Beef noodles tonight, add egg. Big shot. Add cilantro and we're done. She replied with a eye roll sticker followed by see you at the gate. I laughed, then tucked the laugh away. Light outside was steady, tree shadows lay in shallow grids on the pavement and I stepped through them, pace even. My phone buzzed again, unknown number. Hi, this is Stella. I paused a beat. What do you want? I'd like to apologize in person, her voice low, and tell you details I know. Not asking forgiveness, just clarity. You pick the place. You choose. I glanced at the cafe across the street, then at my belly. Tea house, I said. Warm water only these days. She gave a soft hum. Not today, I added. Tomorrow 10 a.m. Okay. After hanging up I entered it in my calendar and messaged Zachary. Tomorrow 10, I meet Stella. Be nearby for 15. Got it. Wind flipped the leaves like turning pages. I pulled my coat shut and walked toward the subway, knowing today's tasks were done and what could be set down was laid to rest. On the way home I patted my belly. Good performance today. Baby stayed quiet, napping. I remembered the nurse's orders. No stress, no late nights, no shocking videos. I nodded at nothing. I'll follow doctor's orders, I said. Starting with the first. 5 next morning the tea house was half empty, air sweet with faint leaf scent. A window table was quiet. I ordered a pot of long jing and a cup of warm water. At 10 sharp Stella arrived, pale trench coat, uneasy eyes. Thank you for seeing me. She set her bag down, fingers twisting the cup rim. Speak plainly. I sipped warm water. She inhaled sharply, voice low. That day, Eleanor forced me. She held my father's company hostage, bankruptcy if I didn't play along. The proposal, ring, lines, all her design. Stella's eyes reddened. I meant to refuse on the spot, but she was filming from the shadows. If I didn't act, she'd edit something worse against me. So you performed for me? I asked evenly. I was wrong. Her voice shook. I owe you an apology. Derek and me, we're truly over. That scene wasn't his wish. I watched drifting tea leaves on the table. Apology accepted, I said. Over or not is your affair. I want clean. Stella nodded and produced a flash drive. Full recordings of Eleanor and the rival firm. I won't be used again. I pocketed it. She met my gaze. He's terrified of losing you. I didn't answer, only slid my cup forward. She understood, stood, and left. That afternoon I handed the drive to Zachary. Files opened, clear audio of Eleanor and the rival manager. Joking over terms, mentioning our marital loft, the footage, everything. Solid evidence. Zachary closed the laptop. Eleanor's actions constitute malicious marital tort. You can claim heavier damages. I won't. I shook my head. I want clean, not a tug-of-war. If it stays buried, she'll strike again. I said nothing. That evening Molly and I hit the supermarket for daily stuff. Rolling the cart, she suddenly spoke. You still care, you know. Him. She shot me a sideways look. Otherwise you wouldn't have taken the evidence. I gave a small laugh and dropped a carton of milk into the cart. I took it to keep baby safe. Nice reason. She nodded. But your eyes are more honest than your mouth. I said nothing more. That night, back in the apartment, I was sorting the new baby clothes when the doorbell rang. Through the peephole I saw Derek. He looked exhausted, a small duffel in his hand. I didn't open. Serena, his voice came through the door. Stella saw you today, didn't she? Silence. I know she gave you the recording. He paused. I don't deserve to come in, but I want you to know I'll tear this thing open myself and make every one of them pay. The hallway was quiet for several seconds. I've decided to give up my shares. His voice was low, steady. I can walk away from the company. I can't walk away from you and baby. My hand rapped the doorknob, but I never turned it. Outside, he exhaled softly. When you're ready to let me explain, I'll be here. Footsteps faded away. I leaned against the door. Baby kicked, hard. I rubbed the spot and whispered, Are you knocking for him? The room was silent except for my heartbeat. 6:10 that night I was on the sofa cutting tags off onesies when my belly suddenly tightened, as if a hand inside gripped me, released, gripped again. Cut it out, I pressed my bump. The second squeeze felt real, a dull ache spreading into my lower back like someone twisting from behind. I messaged Molly. 2 tightenings, feel weird. She ans. Word instantly. Count. If a third comes within 5 minutes, head to Riverdale. The third arrived in under 4. I didn't play the hero. I grabbed my prenatal folder and the hospital go bag. The phone rang as I opened the door. Her. I'm downstairs. Don't hail a cab. I've got you. Wind swept the hallway. I leaned against the wall, breathing slow, until the elevator dinged and Molly sprinted out, tote swinging. She half carried me out. Don't panic, might be Braxton Hicks. Then let it stay fake. Copy that. We tore through empty streets to Riverdale. The OB emergency bay glowed like a river that refused to sleep. A nurse took my folder, helped me onto a gurney. Monitor first. Pulled discs on my belly, paper spitting jagged lines. The doctor glanced up, tone even. Regular contractions, intervals a bit short. Oxygen first, observation. Can I leave after shift change? I tried for calm. I have work tomorrow. You're working here tonight. Molly grunted, tucking my hair behind my ear. I'll have the lawyer change your emergency contact, she murmured. Next time it's me, not him. Thanks. Don't thank me. She headed to admitting. I clutched the bed rail like a rope to keep from sinking. Phone buzzed, unknown number, ignored. Buzz again, Derek. I silenced it. The door opened, the doctor carried forms. Need admission consent and anesthesia evaluation. Family? I sign. She gave me the pen. My palm was slick, the signature came out sharper than usual. Just as I finished, urgent steps in the corridor. Where's patient Serena? A voice I knew. His silhouette filled the doorway, split by light. Out. I said. He stayed, hands half raised, eyes frantic. I came to sign, to stay. It's signed. I handed the pen back. He isn't needed. The doctor looked between us, professional. Patient's signature is valid. The verdict pinned him, he swallowed and stepped aside for the nurse. I stared at the twitching monitor strip, an impatient river. Pain level? The doctor asked. 6. CA. LL when it spikes, don't tough it out. I'm used to it. Tonight we skip used to. Tonight we talk comfort. She directed the nurse to wheel me to a room. Molly took the rail at the other side. Derek followed 2 paces back, trailing like his own shadow. At the door the nurse said, one support person only. I looked at Molly. Her. He said nothing, fingers restless at his sides. I'll be right here, he said. Won't come in. You're not here either, I said. Go home. I'm not leaving. Soft words, but they nailed him to the floor. The nurse glanced at me. Security? No. I closed my eyes. Waste of manpower. The door shut, the world held only beeps and distant wind. Molly unpacked my things, tissues, lip balm, straw cup. Hurt me if you need, she said. I'll wake the neighbor. Pinch me then. That's noisy too. She smiled and held my hand. Here. I nodded. Phone lit again, Zachary. Evidence backed up. Filed an emergency injunction tonight, no one involved gets near you. I typed thanks, added appreciate it. Quick reply, my job. Molly watched. Relax, she said. Lawyer, bestie, doctor. And him outside. Treat that one as air. I tried, air can still press against the door. Heels brushed the floor now and then, a shy heartbeat knocking on the wall. 11:30, contractions tightened. I clutched the rail, breathing the pattern from class. Blow, in, blow. Like birthday candles, Molly said. Then I wish he doesn't trip out there. Pick another. Wish son's head stays small. Reasonable. The doctor returned, felt my belly, listened. Cervix not ready. Start tocolytic, hold off labor. I nodded. Cool fluid dripped in, a quiet river rerouted inside. Pain eased a notch. I exhaled against the pillow. Outside, leaves scraped the window like turning pages. Text buzzed. I'm outside, quiet, not entering. Need anything, knock, I'll run. No name. I darkened the screen. Molly tucked the blanket higher. Sleep. You too. I'll catnap 10 minutes, alarm set. SH. He folded onto the recliner, a wary cat, breath feather light. I stared at the ceiling until my eyes wet, then dried themselves. Lights dimmed, nurse shadows crossed the door like wind. I closed my eyes. Last thought, every signature tonight was a promise letter to myself. In the corridor someone coughed, stifled it fast. I didn't wonder who. Tonight, the story waited outside. 7 at 3 a.m. contractions twisted like knives, sweat soaked my back. The nurse leaned close. Time for delivery room. Family waits outside. I nodded, Molly squeezed my hand. I'll walk to the door, she said. Inside, you fight alone, but I'm right here. The gurney glided under passing lights, each one sliding backward, sea-swallowed and silent. At the entrance the nurse stopped. One support person. Molly and Derek stepped forward together. I met his eyes, cold. Her. He faltered, Adam's apple bobbing, but said nothing, retreating to the wall, fists clenched. Door shut, the world shrank to white. Contractions crashed faster, breathing technique shattered. Hang on. The doctor's voice stayed level. I gripped the rail, tears forced out, teeth clenched. Hair soaked. Molly blotted with a towel, cooler than usual. Treat it like a battle. Battles need guns, I rasped. I'm barehanded. You've got a blade, she pressed my hand. Your teeth. No strength to laugh. All I heard was my own breathing, bellows in a forge. Time stretched, every minute slow. Suddenly the doctor said, full dilation, let's go. My vision flashed white, almost everything muffled except my own cry. At 6 a.m. a newborn's wail sliced the air. Sharp, yet strangely calming. I closed my eyes, tears slid to my temples. The doctor smiled. Mother and son, both safe. I smiled back, frail as wind. When they wheeled me out, the man in the corridor hadn't moved all night. Derek's eyes were bloodshot, stubble peppering his jaw, his shirt a crumpled mess. When he heard the crying, it hit him like a physical blow. He had to see a hand against the wall to stay upright. A nurse carried baby past my bed, and he instinctively reached out, then jerked his hand back. In his gaze was a humble, almost pleading hunger. I turned my face to the window, refusing to look at him. Baby was settled into the bassinet, sleeping peacefully. Molly tucked the blanket under my chin and whispered, "Sleep first." I closed my eyes and heard footsteps in the corridor. Derek hadn't left. He sat on the chair outside the door, motionless as stone. He stayed there till dawn. Sunlight slipped through the crack in the curtains and pooled on the floor. When I opened my eyes, baby was still sleeping soundly. Molly handed me a glass of water and smiled. "Congrats, you've cleared the big level." I nodded, voice hoarse. "Thanks for the hard work." Footsteps sounded outside. Derek stepped in, then stopped. "I've finished the paperwork," he said, voice raspy. "Baby and you come first. All expenses are on me." "I told you I don't need it," I said coldly. He didn't argue, only murmured, "Serena, I'm willing to walk away with nothing. Just let me stay near you and baby." The air went still for a moment. I looked at him, emotions churning, but said nothing. In the bassinet, baby stretched, tiny fingers clutching at empty air, as if grasping an invisible thread. 3 days after discharge, I settled baby in the bassinet, curtains half drawn, sunlight sifted fine as flour. My phone buzzed with a finance news alert. "Sterling calls emergency press conference." I tapped the video. Derek stood at the podium, composed, voice clear. "Regarding the recent video and proposal incident, I am releasing all evidence." The screen cut to emails, shipping labels, recordings, surveillance stills. Each frame felt like recalibrating a compass that had drifted off course. He offered no excuses, only facts. "I did not betray my marriage. I do admit I was chronically absent from it." He paused a beat. "The harm to my wife, and everything she endured ing pregnancy, those burdens are mine to carry." The anchor murmured a prompt. Derek waved him off. "Today I announce 2 decisions. First, I resign as CEO, the board will name my successor. Second, all my shares are being placed in a family trust, beneficiary, my baby." A ripple of shock ran through the room. "Concerning the individuals involved, I have submitted complete documentation. See you in court." He stepped back from the mic and bowed. The freeze frame caught him bent like an umbrella finally lowered. I shut the video. My breathing slowed. Molly arrived, swapped the key fob, and caught the scent of formula the moment she entered. The hero dismounted. She set takeout on the counter. "Looks like a voluntary leap this time." "He hasn't finished what he owes," I said. "The law will handle the rest. There are human ledgers beyond the legal ones." She glanced at the bassinet. "Human ledgers can wait." Baby slept, a ring of milk white at the corner of his mouth. I stroked his little hand. "He was good today. Takes after you." Molly grinned. "Not his dad." I didn't answer. My phone lit again. "Zachary, court docketed the case, restraining order granted, Eleanor must stay 100 yards from you and baby, rival firm under investigation." Me, received. "Zachary, if you stick with plan A, I'll meet opposing counsel this afternoon, walk away settlement." I stared at the line, thumb poised 2 seconds. Me, plan A. I set the phone down, went to the kitchen to warm a cup of water. Steam hazed my fingertips like a small cloud. The doorbell rang. I opened it. Derek. He stood empty-handed, no flowers, no gifts, only a thick manila envelope. "Delivering the documents," he said. I stepped aside. "Come in." He traded his shoes for slippers, movements soft, as if entering a library. The living room was quiet except for baby's steady breathing. He halted beside the bassinet, looked down 3 seconds, fingers trembling in midair before he curled them back. "Sit." I pointed to the sofa. He handed me the envelope. Share transfers, resignation letter, audited finances, media apology. Plus a personal pledge, no legal force, but I wrote it anyway. I didn't open it. "Read it to me." He blinked, then nodded. 1. I will enroll in couples communication and parenting courses, schedule attached. 2. Locked 3 weekly family hours, phone silenced, no work. 3. I won't hold baby without your permission. 4. No more all-night vigils outside your door unless you ask. 5. Anyone from my family comes within 1 step of you, I call the cops first. He lifted his gaze. 6. I will never again use the word explain. I only deliver change. I leaned back. Anything else? 7. I'm not asking forgiveness. I'm asking only for the right to be present. He stopped. That's all for now. I nodded. Acceptable. A faint sigh escaped him. I'll do every item you listed. Not listed by me, I corrected. They're debts you owe. He took it. Yes. Footsteps and voices rose outside. Molly opened the door, looked back, tipped me a nod. Police brought people for Eleanor. She blocked a nurse once at your door. I gave a soft Derek stood. I'll cooperate. At the threshold he glanced back. Serena. Say it. Sorry. The long overdue apology landed lightly, yet it wasn't just wind. I didn't reply. He shut the door, his steps faded down the hall. Quiet returned. Baby stirred and cooed. I lifted him, clumsy, like handling a priceless, fragile gift. He gripped my finger, tight. Time to eat, I told him. Eyes shut, he seemed to smile. A week later the case hit a milestone. Eleanor was taken in for questioning, rival executives summoned, the story trended. Don't look. Molly flipped my phone face down. You're still postpartum, stop snacking on headlines. I was checking the weather. You'd find conspiracy in a forecast. I laughed. It's sunny today. Then let's spend the sunshine on something useful. Such as? Such as your mediation meeting. She mean. The session Zachary had scheduled. Not reconciliation, co-parenting and safety boundaries. I nodded. I'll go. In the conference room, sun sliced through Venetian blinds into neat bars. Zachary laid the agenda on the table. Custody schedule, visitation route, emergency contacts, medical decisions, schooling. Derek sat opposite, expression calm. We ticked through each item, voices clean. Baby stays with me weekdays, I said. Weekends, half day with me, he added. Location your choice. Hospital, school, major family calls, both signatures required. Agreed. No sterling relative approaches baby without permission. I'll enforce it. You wash hands before every visit. Molly shot me an amused glance. Derek smiled slightly. Executed. Final item. Zachary looked at me. Marital status. A two-beat hush filled the room. I met his gaze. We already signed the divorce petition. Today I confirm, push the paperwork through. Pain flickered in Derek's eyes, then vanished. I'll cooperate. I added, after the divorce, we return to being two individuals, learning to be two parents. His shoulders visibly loosened. All right. You said long term. I did. Then we start with co-parenting. Start. As the word settled, steadiness took root in me. Not a U-turn. A step forward. Afterward, he halted at the far end of the corridor. I passed him. He didn't stop me. Wind strong today, he said quietly. Drive safe. You too. He nodded. If you need me, I'm here. I know. I didn't look back. Sunlight lay on the floor like golden slabs you could walk on. I crossed them, pace even. On the day we filed, red paper flowers decorated the municipal office windows. The clerk handed us two small maroon booklets. I took them, but my spine didn't feel the hollowness I'd expected. More like folding an old map and sliding it into a drawer. Outside, the wind hit just right. Derek stood at the foot of the steps, not advancing. Can I drive you? He asked. I'll manage. Okay. He stepped CK, clearing my path. We stood side by side a moment. No words. No evasion. Baby's restless at night, I said first. That nightlight you bought is too bright. I'll swap it for a dimmer one. Anything else to fix? I'll send the list when it's ready. Executed. I slipped the booklet into my bag and zipped it. I'm off. Take it slow. You too. I descended. Wind flipped the leaves, exposing their paler undersides. That night baby slept against me. Distant traffic hummed beyond the window. I dialed the nightlight to its faintest glow. The room felt tucked beneath a gentle blanket. My screen lit with a short message. Thank you for letting me learn baby together. Not forgive me. Not another chance. Learn together. I replied, okay. Then placed the phone face down. Watching baby's lashes, I thought of a simpler image. We aren't repairing a half-collapsed house. We're pitching a tent. Starting with the stakes. With the first guy line. With making sure the wind can't lift it again. I bent and kissed his forehead. Good night, I whispered. Outside, the wind paused briefly. As if listening too.